Dear friends, welcome back to Full Bore Silver. It's Thursday, January 29th. New rules, everything's out the window. Silver, 121.65. Gold, knocking on 5,600. Some people are saying 5,600 an ounce. I see 55.98. Copper, up almost 10%. We've got the TNX up. We've got the US dollar down. We've got Japanese bond yields up. This is crazy. I mean, if you're not excited, we're going to send a full bore medical unit out to do a wellness check on you because you have to be excited looking at these events. Now, we have had nearly 3 Six Sigma events in about a week's time. That's 6 standard deviations. It's 1 in 500 million or something. We had on Tuesday, January 20th, the Japanese 30-year yield do almost a 9% move, 8.66% move. Within the same week, Monday, 126 on silver, we went from 108 to nearly 118, okay? This is insane. Gold in 1 month up almost 28%. This is the largest asset class in the world at $37 trillion. To have these 3 Six Sigma events, and now everybody's talking about it, it's kind of gratifying to see people talking about stuff I've been talking about for months. Copper, you have Chamath Palihapitiya. All right, I got the pronunciation. This guy, the SPAC scoundrel scavenger, is now talking about copper and the importance to the U.S. economy, how there is a critical structural deficit. We're not going to be able to build out the AI without copper. And all the easy copper has ever been mined. Now they got to go deeper, lower ore grades, etc. But we have these 3 Six Sigma events all occurring. And there's more and more of it popping up in greater concentration, shorter time frames. We had imminent war or military actions on 4 continents right now. The USS Abraham Lincoln has gone dark. They're saying that there might be another Iranian strike here on Friday. This is all great for precious metals. We have platinum up 34.29% in 1 month. Again, copper up 10% in a day. In 1 month, silver is up 69.85%. In 1 year, silver stackers, 316% plus silver returns, okay? You were right. Your thesis was right. Your nugs are big. You put your money where your mouth was, and it's paying off. There is a structural supply deficit. This is not JP Morgan trying to squeeze China. The entire world is thirsty for silver. Industry, central banks, sovereign wealth funds, foreign countries. The US dollar is declining. People are moving into hard assets. It's exciting. Now here's our M2 inflation adjusted prices and targets for gold and silver. For gold, M2 inflation adjustment, $12,797. For silver, what's our target? $744 an ounce, okay? I'm not getting rid of any of my physical until I hit those levels, and I think it's going up from there. The U.S. economy has really been in recession for 26 years, probably since the year 2000 dot-com bust. Some brilliant commenter yesterday brought up the Cantillon effect, which is basically when liquidity is injected into the market, it doesn't get distributed equally. The wealthy who have assets get those assets inflated and they make out great. And so you look at 2020, the biggest redistribution of wealth in human history. You had guys like Tom Brady, who's probably worth near $1 billion, getting PPP loans for his t-shirt company. I mean, how ridiculous is this? People are losing their jobs, small businesses are closing, and Tom Brady's getting your tax dollars. This is ridiculous. So that's the Cantillon effect. We've been in a recession. Here's the chart that proves it, okay? Since 2000, this is the SBX in grams of gold. Precipitous decline since 2000. We had this brief spike up, this quote-unquote bull market that we're in right now. But this economy has been in recession. It is Cantillon effect. The rich have gotten a lot richer, and people, middle America, middle class is shrinking, small businesses, hundreds of thousands of them were destroyed with the scamdemic. So that is your Cantillon effect, and that is accelerating right now. Now, 2 absolutely fascinating interviews yesterday, 2 must watch. opposite ends of the spectrum. You had Michelle McCory. Oh, sweet Michelle. I mean, she's so sharp. She is easy on the eyes. She is razor sharp. She interviewed somebody named Michael Lee. And then on the other side of it, we had Liberty and Finance interview with Alistair MacLeod, the brilliant British economist who was a stockbroker in the 70s in London. He started managing offshore banks. He's a huge precious metals guy. So to start, this was hilarious. Michael Lee, Michelle McCory. I went to school with a lot of these types of guys. You know, they played lax or they played rugby and they took a lot of head injuries, and their greatest aspirational goals in life were to be upper middle management at some finance institution in Boston or New York City. So had this guy on, Michael Lee, and he was very bearish on gold. And he said, based on looking at silver for the last 20 years, I see it retracing and going back to 50. Didn't really have much explanation for that. Holds no physical metal. Did have the trade in SLV like a lot of other normies, and said that he liquidated it on his client's behalf. So very lucky clients there. He's very upset about the government shutdown, saying if the government shuts down, then the government can't spend money and inject liquidity into the economy, and it's really bad for tech stocks. That's like my Christmas list. I mean, tell me what's wrong with that picture. He said the yen carry trade, the Japanese carry trade really isn't that important. You shouldn't be paying attention to Japanese bond yields. I mean, never mind that 10 to 20 trillion dollars in Japanese yen was injected, which created the stock market bubble right now. What else did he say? He's very bullish on AI and says the U.S. economy is doing great, according to Michael Lee. He's celebrating the need for all the energy that's going to be sucked up by AI. Never mind that the grid is completely antiquated and we don't have the copper to build out any more grid. Never mind silver, never mind water to cool the data centers, etc. He said that the U.S. is going to get its stuff together and build out and create nuclear power facilities, and we're going to exceed China. Never mind that China is already 4x what the U.S. is in energy production. He's very pro Alex Karp. You know Alex Karp, the reptilian warmonger voyeur that loves war. He probably falls asleep at night watching Predator drone footage of women and children being bombed. So he loves Alex Karp. I don't know if you've seen any interviews with Alex Karp, but he can't sit still, like in his chair. Like he looks like he's really messed up or something. This guy is a demon. He's very bullish on Broadcom, CoreWeave, Oracle, who are all grossly in debt from financing these data centers that aren't even operational because of what I mentioned before. And he says Palantir, the AI surveillance software company that was created by DARPA and military intelligence, is the greatest software company ever developed. So Michelle McCory took this guy apart like you take apart a frog in chemistry class. Surgical precision, destroyed his arguments, but was very professional, as she always is. He got destroyed in the comments, as he should have, but it was fascinating. The only thing I agreed with Michael Lee on was when he called himself a rugby-playing meathead, okay? You contrast him with Alistair MacLeod. Now, Alistair MacLeod strikes me as somebody who sits in a palatial-type castle in Scotland, sipping on fine single malt in front of a fireplace, doing a critical examination of Carol Quigley's Tragedy and Hope. Whereas Michael Lee strikes me as somebody that hangs out at Buffalo Wild Wings, eating mild wings with ranch dressing and a double high Bud Light, working on his fantasy team and probably betting on women's softball on DraftKings. So that's the juxtaposition. Couple important points from Alistair MacLeod. This was fascinating, and I didn't really know about this aspect of macroeconomics. He basically was saying how anytime there's currency conversion in the SWIFT system, anywhere around the world, it first has to be converted into US dollars. Now, that's all going away because of Enbridge and BRICS and the unit. Other countries are disavowing the US and having to change all their money into US dollars because the US, if they're pissed at you, they just confiscate your money. So why would you take that risk? He said that the process around the world, he was talking about how he has to take sterling if he wants to buy yuan, convert it into US dollars, and then buy the yuan. He said that's going away. And that accounts for what the Bank of International Settlements, you know, the bank that is out of Basel, Switzerland, controls the Fed. He said that accounts for $82 trillion in transactions, and none of this is on the books of the Fed. Can you imagine what they're skimming and what they're stealing and laundering? Oh, by the way, the Federal Reserve is not audited whatsoever and has no budget. Okay, this is who controls the U.S. economy. He also said that offshore bonds that are not recorded in U.S. treasuries count for a further $13 trillion. So you're looking at $98 trillion of USD circulation that's going away. This is catastrophic. He also reports that U.S. Treasury records another $44 trillion in onshore dollars and underlying investments, bank deposits, U.S. Treasury stock, corporate stock, etc. Then there's around $22 trillion in equities. Now, other countries are divesting, and he brought up the Danish pension fund that's divesting from the U.S. I mean, that's a blip on the radar, but there seems to be this cascading effect with the divestment from the U.S. But, I mean, look, we're $40 trillion in debt. You've got $100 trillion that aren't even on the books that's transacted overseas. And then you've got another $44 trillion in foreign investment that is quickly divesting. You see this pattern aligning here? The Six Sigma events, the divestment, the US dollar decline, the 10-year treasury going up, gold and silver going through the roof, platinum, copper, etc. There is a major capital rotation and a monetary reset. And I'm really excited that you're watching and learning about this just as I am. You got to stay ahead of the curve on this stuff or you're going to be left behind. And Cantillon effect is it's going to kick you in the culo if you're not paying attention to this. Now, we're seeing a major smashdown right now to about $1.13 off of those new highs that were just a couple hours ago. It's exciting. I mean, now might be your opportunity to DCA into a little bit more physical if you don't have your stack. Now's the time to look at equities. The volatility, the implied volatility, especially if you're playing options, it's well over 100%. And this is on like multi-billion-dollar companies like Newmont and Barrick. I wouldn't suggest buying options in the beginning of the day when the IV is this high, but man, is this exciting. You just charge ahead of bed at 6:15 in the morning. These markets are so fun. We're going to be paying attention to this. Thanks for tuning in. I've got some other exciting shows coming up. I'm going to do an examination of the two presidents that declared war on gold and silver and declared war on regular Americans. I'm going to break it all down. Now I want to leave you with a fun video of my dog swimming with one of my chickens. Have a fantastic day.